Ferrari Gold Coast. Let's have a look. Haven't seen the Purosangue yet. It's quite nice. An interesting design. Huge wheels. Absolutely massive. R20, the ZR23. Just enormous. I really like the carbon fiber design around the wheel arches too. Just really interesting. Huge brake vents. Again, just massive tires. I wonder what the replacement cost is for that. Cool design though. I think this is the first SUV for Ferrari. Pretty sure it is. Yeah, 296 GTB. We've viewed quite a few of these already, but still a very nice car. I think the back reminds me quite a lot of the sort of Ford GT, the back section. You just see the evolution of, it's kind of McLaren-esque as well. You just see the evolution of the Ferrari models. You can kind of see everything in this car. I think 296, it's kind of, you can see the design language of the 458, 488, F8, as well as just the new, more advanced design of modern shapes and the aerodynamics. I think it looks very nice. Not my favorite Ferrari, but still looks very good. Still a very nice car. This one's a little bit more customized. I think it's called the Fiorano pack. Has just different accents. You can tell from the more standard looking 488 over there. There's a lot more contrast in this one. It's also a different color too. I don't know how well that comes out on the camera, but you can see it's a much more of a metallic style of color compared to the classic Rosso Corsa. I really like the colored accents in this too. It's beautiful. And unlike a lot of the other 296s that I've looked at, this one has a kind of anodized, painted like exhaust protection area here, so you don't get that stain that a lot of the other ones get. You just see how complicated the design of the back of this car is. It's beautiful. And it's interesting, it looks like a convertible, but it's not. Just the roof line and these creases. It's actually the just the coupe version. Again, a lot better contrast compared to the standard paint. I still haven't seen one of these in Shanghai yet. Like as if the 812 Superfast wasn't good enough already. Just incredible. The carbon fiber wheels. It's obviously carbon ceramics. It's a very interesting paint too. It's kind of a bear. It's hard to get it in the camera. It almost has an unfinished look to it. It's very different. No active aero on 812 or 812 Competizione, but One of the greatest engines ever made. In general, 812 series, one of the best cars ever. 812. It'd be a shame when they don't make these kinds of cars anymore. Some massive brake vents. Kind of looks strange with this kind of exposed metal look, and then you've just got the wet carbon. But typically when you're buying these kinds of cars, you try to make it a bit different. I mean, it's at $999. I think with this paint color too, you can see the aero a lot more obvious. It goes up through the door. I think this and all of the 812s and the last generation of the Huracan Technica, all these kinds of cars will be worth a lot more money in the future. It's a really interesting separation. Exposed sort of wet carbon fiber with the metal. .488PISTA. I mean, the big thing about this one was the front thing. It's almost from the Formula One car. Again, beautiful design. You can see all of the design characteristics from F8 and 488. All of them in the new 296. You can see how much more simplistic the rear is compared to the 296 as well. That's one of the things that's so good about the 296 GTB, even though it's not really my favorite Ferrari, it's not what I would buy, but you can see how much design and development and innovation and engineering has gone into the rear of the 296 compared to, say, a 488PISTA. Good car when it came out, but not as good as that car. 812 Competizione. It's one of the greatest cars you can buy in the world. Just an absolute masterpiece. SF90, very fast. It's Ferrari's kind of hypercar, although I would call the 812 a kind of hypercar too, the Competizione version. But this is SF90, it's kind of Ferrari's what they would classify as a hypercar now. Extremely fast, but for me, I find it a little bit boring. I think it doesn't sound very nice. And the design of it too, it's not like, I think it's beautiful. Like, all Ferraris are relatively beautiful. But like, I'd still take the 812 Competizione over any other Ferrari. I'd probably take an 812 Competizione over a LaFerrari. If not, I'd just sell the LaFerrari and buy an 812 anyway. But SF90s, they're sort of Ferrari's like proper forte into hybrid, incredibly fast. I think its rival is 765 LT, which is one of the fastest and most ridiculous cars that's ever been made. Like 765, 720S McLaren, so they shouldn't be as fast as they are. They're just ridiculous. Again, they're very nice. I mean, you'd be happy every day buying this kind of car. I think it's what a lot of people don't understand about these kinds of cars and why people buy them, why you spend so much money on it. Because it's a different experience. It's not like driving a normal car. If you've ever driven a supercar, a Ferrari, Lamborghini, or something special McLaren, it just does something to you. It gives you a kind of happiness, enjoyment that you can't get from standard cars. You're driving a hatchback out there, it's just a daily drive. You drive an SF90, like you're gonna forget your problems. This is why people like to buy these cars. It's not just about the driving experience. There's a lot of satisfaction, mental, emotional kind of satisfaction to driving these kinds of cars. And I think it's what a lot of people don't understand. It's the same with the luxury watch. Like 10 years ago, I bought quite a nice Tag Heuer watch. And before that, I never understood it. I never understood, like, why do people buy luxury watches? I don't really get it. But then once you have one, you understand why. There's something about it. It raises your mood. It makes you feel better. So it's not just about driving the car or enjoying the car. I think you get a lot of emotional and like mental reward, internal reward from owning and driving these kinds of cars. Like, I think there's only a few cars that in the world where you can buy and just you have absolutely zero regrets about anything. Just every time you look at it, every time you drive it, it's just very special. And I think this is one of those cars. I think if I bought a 296, I mean, it's a nice car, but I think after a while I might get bored. Whereas you're never going to get bored with an 812 competition. Like, it just doesn't happen. Like, every time you drive this thing, every time you listen to that engine and sit in this car, I think it's like it's the ultimate mood enhancement. It's just special, a special car. And yeah, unfortunately, most of these cars are privately owned. Most of them are sold, so you can't actually get in the cars or look at the cars and understand why. Like, this car's actually not for sale. It's an owner's car. They just leave it here as a display. So, but just incredible. Just really special car. Like, just the aero development and especially in the rear in the 812 Competizione. I think they've just done such a good job of like making it more muscular. It just looks a lot stronger in the rear. This kind of design sequence that goes out here like this. It's a little bit of a shame they didn't use some kind of active aero, but I think there's obviously quite a bit of downforce in the rear of the 812 Competizione already, so really love the lights. But you can just see how much different this is compared to the 812 videos that I've filmed. There's just so much more work going on in this car. Like, the overall platform is the same, but just how much stuff is going on, just the wheels, the carbon ceramics, the amount of sort of rear aerodynamic improvements. It's just incredible. Just massive brakes, just beautiful carbon fiber wheels. It's incredible how they even make that, actually. You consider how much force the wheels go under to make them out of carbon fiber. It's very hard, it's very expensive. It has to be done absolutely perfectly. It's one of the reasons why making carbon fiber monocoques is so expensive. It's so difficult. You're making carbon fiber to have load, to have weight on it. It has to be made perfectly. It's not like body parts.